In this module, we will learn the inputs, tools and techniques, and outputs of the Plan Procurement Management process. Plan Procurement Management is the process of deciding which project assets need to be purchased. The project team must decide whether or not to purchase, how to purchase, as well as how much and when to purchase. In this process, the project team prepares for other procurement management processes by documenting a structured approach and determining the purchasing requirements. The PMBOK guide defines several inputs for the Plan Procurement Management process. Many of these are outputs from other planning processes, which will be useful to determine and document the requirements for project procurement needs. First, the Project Management Plan provides an overall project-specific management approach as well as agreed-upon baselines for scope, schedule, and budget. This will be important since procurement management will need to be well integrated with these other aspects of the project. The requirements documentation describes the detailed requirements for project deliverables. Since contractors may be responsible for delivering components or augmenting project work, it is useful to ensure these requirements are properly communicated. Resource requirements will be important to make sure that contractors or acquired resources will have the skill sets necessary to complete their assigned work. Finally, the risk register and stakeholder registers provide background on the project environment. It is important that contractors are aware of the various parties that may be affected by their work and any known risks associated with the work. An understanding of the risks associated with the work will also heavily influence the type of contract that will be utilized. Two additional inputs include enterprise environmental factors and organizational process assets. Enterprise environmental factors can be a major input to defining the management approach, particularly government standards, stakeholder culture, and the organization's existing infrastructure and tools. Organizational process assets may contribute a procurement management plan template and lessons learned. There are a few tools and techniques for the plan procurements process. Make or buy analysis is a technique to determine if it is more beneficial to the performing organization to produce a product or service in-house or to outsource. Market research may include industry trends and capabilities to better understand the options that may be available when purchasing equipment, materials, or a service. Understanding the various options between simple or complex alternatives can help the team better understand their specific needs. Source selection analysis may include methods such as least cost, qualifications only, highest technical proposal score, quality and budget, sole source, or fixed budget. Finally, expert judgment in meetings are common tools and techniques used to describe the experience and expertise that the project management team, consultants, or other project stakeholders may bring to the management of project work, as well as the collaboration that must take place among these stakeholders. There are many key outputs of the Plan Procurement Management process. The Procurement Management Plan is a subsidiary plan to the Project Management Plan, defining how the other procurement management processes will be performed. The procurement strategy defines the delivery methods, contract payment types, and the procurement phases which will be used in each of the procurements for the project. Make or buy decisions is the documentation of what decisions were made and how those decisions were reached. Procurement statements of work is documentation of which components of the project scope will be addressed in the purchase or acquisition of each product or service. A procurement statement of work should be developed for each item to be procured and will be used by the seller to help formulate their project scope. Source selection criteria is documentation created by the buyer that defines how potential sellers are to be selected. This criteria may be based on performance-oriented goals such as past performance, proposed schedule, proposed cost, or technical achievement. This can be in the form of absolute requirements or desired qualities. Bid documents is the formalized documentation necessary to solicit for seller proposals. This can include RFPs, requests for proposals, RFQs, requests for quotation, or RFIs, requests for information, or any other documents that help to describe the product or service and planned purchasing process. As a result of the planned procurement's process, the project team may decide to make some modifications to the project scope of work, schedule, or budget, resulting in change requests. This is the only planning process that outputs change requests. Planned procurement management is the process of deciding which project assets need to be purchased. The project team must decide whether or not to purchase, how much, and when. In this process, the project team prepares for other procurement management processes by documenting a structured approach and determining the purchasing requirements.